Hey guys, this is Nathan, host of the Long Distance Pizza Party podcast. I really appreciate you guys checking out this episode 55, where me and Crad, Dawk, and Silly, strangers in here, he's away on with work, but we're taking a look at church misconceptions. This video we wanted to do for the holidays, so hopefully you enjoyed it, and I really appreciate it. Before we did, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. You could also just follow us on social media at Pizza Party Pod. I really appreciate it. I really wanted the podcast to grow this year. We had very minimum growth, so hopefully this coming year we really skyrocket. I'd really appreciate it. So leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel and share with your friends. Now, let's get into the episode. I also got a new monitor, so it's throwing me off because it throws all the proportions off of my screens. I spent 10 minutes fighting Zoom before this because it kept hiding anything. So all I had was the screen, but I couldn't see any of the icons. Because it's like, I don't know, some old monitor my mom had that she needed to get rid of, and I needed a new one. But whatever. We're not talking about monitor. Nathan's.
We know you go to Goodwill.
That's like half true. It's half true. Okay, like a third of the stuff that I use is like from Goodwill. Hey, so you'll get rid of some good stuff.
And the rest is from Ollie.
Yes. Well, today I went to Walmart to get a power supply cord because she had a monitor, but not the power supply cord. I don't know how you'll lose the power supply cord. I feel like that's the most important part for the monitor. Whatever. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Long Distance Pizza Party podcast, episode 50. I think it's 55. Yeah, it's 55. That's what I have written down. It might be wrong, but whatever. It's not the first time that numbering's been off. But this is an episode that is kind of a sequel to the church stories we've done. Because I think it's kind of apt now, especially with holidays, talking about church misconceptions. I think we've all been asked out, not even trying to minister to people or talk to other people, where there's been misconceptions about the church that people have asked us about. And I think we've all had kind of experiences where we could touch on it, kind of make fun of some of the stuff that we've heard. Because I have a story for later that's kind of, it's hilarious, and I think I've brought it up. But what is like for you guys? Well, before that, consider following us on social media at Pizza Party Pod, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Those are like the big three. I think we're also on Blue Sky, but Blue Sky seems to be going away. Dinosaur like X or Twitter did, so you can find us there. I think, or I think I just post stuff on my Blue Sky whenever I feel like using it. But what for you guys is like a big misconception that you guys hear a lot about church, either your respective church or just like church in general?
That we're all crazy.
That we're all crazy?
That's only half true. No.
Depends on where you go and who you talk to.
No. I as a Pentecostal.
Which is like the big
one.
Look
at that. Dawk just automatically started laughing. It's like, okay, we can spend the whole hour here apparently. No, I'm kidding. No, as a Pentecostal, or I should say as a fellow Pentecostal, because Nathaniel was a Pentecostal as well, we don't always run around and jump off pews and, roll around the floor, do all that stuff. All our women do not have long hair or wear skirts.
Some people have some ladies have the short hair or the dyed hair. Or
Yep, they have dyed hair and they wear pants. So that's not all of us.
Sacrilege to wear pants in church. How dare you?
Yes, that's crazy. What else we got as Pentecostals?
What's the other? There's a couple that I
always there's two or three of them.
Y'all do all that snake handling?
Oh, not all of us do snake handling. That's another one. Thank you. That's
just at Crad's church.
Well, I'm actually probably not that far from one that actually does. But that's up in the woods a piece over in the West Virginia side, I think. But I haven't gone to verify that personally, and probably never will. Although I have joked about it. I have joked about going to one of those just so I could,
experience it. Just
hopefully alive and get out there.
Ray Stevens has a great song about it.
Oh no, no.
Does he really? I'll check that out. But it's funny you said that, Crad. My dad. So there's a guy at our church. He handles a lot of animals, and of course, living in the Midwest, of course, you get the occasional critter, the occasional deer, reptile, depending, or the large cat that escaped from the feline rescue center. It was wandering the backwoods of my neighborhood for like a couple months, and they couldn't find it. Like a mountain lion, they could not find this mountain lion roaming the woods. But one Sunday we were doing, I can't remember what we were doing in kids' church, but it had to do with the lesson. And one of our guys, he has some bigger reptiles. And my dad's over there. He made breakfast for everyone because occasionally what people at church do for the kids, they'll make breakfast for them. And my dad decided to volunteer. And he's cleaning up, and one of the guys, just imagine this guy, he's got a ponytail tied back, big guy, loud guy. Has a giant boa constrictor and puts it on my dad. And my dad, if you like anything about my dad usually doesn't react. He kind of just sits there. So all he has to do, he's just standing there, and there's a picture my mom has where she just quickly took a picture of it, of just my dad just standing there, not knowing how to react, that this giant snake is now on him. And wow. So I'm sure there were some visitors who were like, does this church always have like big animals at their church? Which I always found funny. There's a couple of people at my church where I'm not saying I wouldn't recommend them to people, but like you then get like a thought of church when you see the big guy or the guy full of tattoos, which isn't a misconception because I think some people like that is something people do gripe about. People full of tattoos in church. I know so many people that are like that. They're like the chillest people on the planet. But Crad, you were saying Pentecostal. I had a guy I was working with. He came up to me one day, out of the blue, total serious, straight face, just goes, "So, you're one of those pescatarians, aren't you?" And I'm like, "What?
You only eat fish?"
And he's like, "Yeah, you go to that pescatarian church." And I'm like, "You mean Pentecostal?" He's like, "What's the difference?" I explained the difference. Like
there's a difference,
like,
all right. Yeah.
He didn't know the difference. I was like, dude, that is one thing I do have to say. We might talk about later in church about stuff that we could work on, not misconception wise, but we need to work on the rhetoric and like the phrasing we use when we're talking to people, because
the churchies.
Because you try explaining something to people, and some people have zero idea what church is, and you confuse them even further. Yeah, that was my my funny. I always think about that story, and it gets brought up occasionally by people.
That pescatarian church.
Yeah. I should say it to my pastor.
Yes.
We're doing baptism. We're doing baptism this week. I should ask him about that. He'd get a kick about that.
Have a whole fish meal sitting right there waiting for him.
Got you some fish sticks, Pastor.
Yeah. Fresh out of the microwave.
But no, that is a common misconception. We all do not act or sound the same.
No.
We are grouped into one big category. Y'all those guys that run around a lot, aren't you? Well, sometimes, but
depending on which church you go to and what service it is, you know.
Yeah, not all the time. But how about you, Dawk? I know you're coming from a different denomination.
Southern Baptist has its whole, I don't know, you get the old jokes of what's the difference between going fishing with the Methodist and going fishing with the Baptist? The Methodists will bring their beer, the Baptists will drink all yours.
So not all Baptists drink.
Yeah, not all Baptists. Yeah, not all Baptists drink. Not all Baptists are cheese holders. It's just, I've known Baptists that go out and dance.
Oh my goodness,
even that's one of the things, isn't it?
Heaven forbid you dance in church.
I've known teachers that left the Baptist church because they could, or left working at the church because they wanted to go out and dance.
Interesting.
So I went to Baptist high school, which was very interesting, being Pentecostal, just different worlds altogether. And they had a thing we had to sign saying we couldn't go to the movie theaters. We never signed it. We didn't say anything. We just didn't say anything if we did or not. They didn't ask. So, and they knew we were Pentecostal, so I don't know. I'm surprised it didn't come up, but.
And that's like, and those things, people are scared of the Baptist church because a lot of them say, "Oh, you're just too legalistic."
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some that are, but there's also this thing called grace.
Yeah. And that's another misconception. I think some people think that church people are so. They're so hard case, like they're so stringent on like rules. I'm sorry, but there are some people that just go to church on Sunday and Wednesday, and the rest of their life they're doing whatever. Like, and then there are the few, unfortunately, that these people meet, and that's the only people they meet is the stringent, like the rule, like how dare you have chairs in your church? You got to have pews. You got to have the red back hymnals. You got to have anything new. Any change is wrong.
Yeah, it also doesn't help. I mean, being part of it's basically a mega church also. I mean, it's not like Olstein level, but it's still, I mean, we're still preaching the word. We're still not being like, oh, look at these. We haven't had it at the movies.
Oh, geez. There's a megachurch that around here that did that. It was actually the way that the pastor did it. I thought it was interesting. Like the points he brought up about he did the one we went to. It's Indiana Jones. He did I think it was Holy Grail. He did the Holy Grail. So it's like seeing that, but like at points it's a danger. It's like a dangerous line where you're like, oh, is next week you gonna do The Exorcist? Like like this line.
It's like it's not we're not doing that whole seeker friendly part. We're still going through the word.
You're not finding any money in your walls in the bathroom. I think that was something
that happened at Lakewood. Yes.
Yeah. Or he he refused anyone to come into the church during one of the hurricanes.
During Harvey.
Yeah,
yes.
that was a big one.
Yeah, that was another big one. We're not all like that. Not all church people.
We actually opened our doors at ours.
But think just on that. Did you guys hear what the recent thing on TikTok's been involving the church? So there's this lady. She has a whole TikTok page where she's calling churches in her area about
that's.
It's not all over TikTok, but I saw someone posting about it, and not every church is like that.
I was gonna say this is a very appropriate time to bring that up. Actually,
sure, let's bring that up.
I do want to say this: not every church is like that, but people need to understand that some churches don't have the resources that you think they do.
Not only that, but there's been church. Sorry to interrupt, Doc, but there's been churches that continuously get taken advantage of too.
Yes.
So it makes them very cautious.
Yes. Yeah. But also, they have the people that need to be willing to. To give.
Yeah. But the thing is, when she calling it up, and they said, oh, and they point her to the way they go through the vetting process. She said, oh, I already tried to talk to him, so I need to talk to you. I need money now. That's the whole way she was doing it. Sounds scammy from the beginning, and then she's doxing the churches.
Did she actually have a kid, or was this a
this was an experiment?
It was all.
I knew it was an experiment, but I didn't know if there was an actual kid involved, or was this a whole ruse?
I hope not. I don't think so.
Whatever.
Yeah.
There are people now that have that thought of the church.
Yeah. It makes us look terrible.
Yeah.
Well, they were looking at it because that's the whole point in the first place. Yeah. It was to make people look terrible, and like the way she did it was.
Oh yeah.
Like lying to get through stuff in the first place. So yes.
Which kind of proves the point that you cannot trust everybody. It has to ask you for help.
Yeah. The vetting process is there for a reason.
We had a situation not that long ago at my church where my church is in an area where there's a lot of poor people around, or lower income people, and they'll see the church and they're like, oh, I need to get something. We do stuff. We have we give food in the wintertime around holidays for people. We partner with other churches. We do some of that other stuff. And we had this lady, I don't know what her deal was, but she kept asking the security team for the associate pastor's wife. She kept asking, it's like, I need to talk to such and such. I need to talk to such and such. And we all knew kind of something was going on. We're like, okay, we're not going to have her walk around the church bugging people. If she wants to enjoy this service, that's fine. It was a Wednesday night. It's pretty laid back. And it was, and like, we don't even know if this person's here or not. It was like, we don't want, especially if she's downstairs in the nursery, we don't want people to need to be walking around. And for what I've gathered later, she just needed a ride. But like, we have buses. Like, there are people that like try to get stuff from the pastors or people at the church, and it's very unfortunate. But like, we had stuff that we gave her to help her out. We sent her to other people we knew that could help her out, had better resources to help her out, that we partner with, the people that went to our church. Like, they had there's an actual place for them to go for like less unfortunate people. And I don't know what her deal was, or she wasn't cognizing what was going on, or don't understand what we were trying to do to help her. Like, there are people that believe the church should help them right now. And it's a very unfortunate thing that happens.
Well, I've also seen people go into Sunday school classes and try to and work their way into there and try to manipulate people into giving. And then when you point them to the proper channels, then they're like, "Oh, okay," and they just
didn't disappear.
They disappear, or they say that "Oh, well, I went through this," and you find out that they're trying to go through these proper channels in like 4 different churches.
Yeah,
they've gone to every church on the block because there's certain, if you go to your town, look your town.
I'm gonna say there's a difference between helping somebody out and just continues to continue to fund being not in a position to help themselves.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, you want to make sure that they can help themselves later versus always have this constant line of help where they're just not working to get better. Um, that's that's a very unfortunate misconception that I think has hardened people towards church. Like, oh, well, you're not going to help this person, and sometimes it's people that are totally fine and well off, but they're pointing at other people's situations, like they're trying to justify it for themselves, which I think is very unfortunate. Because we just stopped talking about this all night.
I was gonna say that was a big one lately.
Yeah. I kept hearing about that. I'm like, there's no way this is legit. And the more you look at it, someone had a whole video they're posting about it. Funny enough, someone also was posting a video about dinks, and like it lately, I'm like, bruh. But like they went after any Christian media. Just dinks had to be the biggest one.
Dinks.
Yeah. They had a Donut Man video recently. I was like, oh well, if you, from what I've heard, some stuff that guy did, I don't know the full story, but like it's
No, just drop it. I mean, it's not edifying the body or anything.
No.
So
no. What's another good church misconception that I like to hear, or that I hear around from people
That you like to hear?
Well, not that I like to hear. No, I'm not looking for drama, but like that I hear a lot.
Well, tell us about it there.
Yeah.
What kind of drama we dug out this time?
Yeah, no.
What's the drama?
No, there's no drama as of yet.
We also, as a whole church body, are not always after your money.
No.
Oh no.
There's a difference between.
We're after your soul, not your money.
Yeah, we're after your soul. I mean, it does take money to run a church and all the ministries involved, but we're not. And the majority of us, I can't speak for all of us, but I know all of us here I can speak for. We're not going to get on television and promise you a bunch of stuff for giving us money. That's unbiblical.
Yeah.
We're not all like that, I promise you.
And even in the church, I've had this conversation with my mom. For a while, it took my church forever to try to do kids church, kids camps. Like, since that, it was like, again, you have to have the resources.
Yeah.
I think that's a misconception. We're like, oh, the church can do all this stuff. Okay, but it also depends on your area, the people in the church that are willing to do something. You can't just, the pastor can't just go to such and such, you're going to be doing kids ministry now. Unless it comes, like, if they feel led to do that. Like, you can't just throw something into something if they're not prepared.
No.
Like, spiritually or, like, time or, like, physically prepared to do that. And I think that's a misconception a lot of people feel. And, like, they don't quantify it. And a lot of times these misconceptions, one, come from people in church, but two, outside of church. When they're looking outside in, not the inside out. If I said that correctly. I think I jumbled it, but I think I got my point. I was trying to think. Was there another funny one I hear? Because there's a couple I hear. Not every pastor you're gonna run into is like every pastor you hear on TV. It's not every pastor's Joel Osteen, but not every pastor's like the Southern Baptist, like shaking, sweating all over the place, loud. I heard that one a lot. My pastor sometimes gets like that. He's like pretty chill. So I think it depends on the sermon that your pastor's preaching. Sometimes they're more energized about it.
As long as they're not like Copeland, then we're all good.
Oh yeah, where they're just doing it all for show, and they're like, what is he doing in COVID? Was he like blowing on people?
Yes,
like,
I'm gonna blow away.
I was like, what are you doing? I just wanted to see camera footage. I wanted to see camera footage of like the congregation. If there was anyone there during COVID, just like, what the heck is this guy doing? But also, they're probably like very like, yes, pastor, yes, let's do this.
Drink the Kool-Aid. So
Yeah. That's
well, you got to have the private planes because the other ones are just demon tubes.
Yeah, there's demons in the public planes. Yeah,
you gotta put your church right on the side there on the plane. Get like the banners flying on the back.
That's like the thing you have on the big side of the building, Joel Osteen Ministries.
Yeah, yeah, that screams about the church. That doesn't scream anything about, the person and just the person and not about anything else.
I'll have to drive by there and take a picture of that for you.
I forget you're near there. You say Texas. I'd always forget where that's at. So I'm like, oh man, that's funny. Um,
Yeah, I went back. I went there back when the Rockets used to play basketball there.
at the church?
The building was the Summit, which was the basketball
Oh,
arena,
okay.
and then they Lakewood bought it and turned it into a church.
Okay. Makes okay.
Wow.
I was like, yeah, we're gonna do service during basketball. That'd be something.
Yeah, so that whole thing that used to be where the basketball arena was.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, that's what if you look at the design, if you ever watch the service and see how it is, that you can see that the basketball design is still there.
Yeah, she's like, why is this look so weird? Why is there a scoreboard?
Well, there's not that, but yeah.
That'd be funny. Just scoreboard. Whenever pastor brings something up, just ding. Um, oh, yeah, not everyone's after your money. Not every pastor's crazy.
I got another one. That's a common misconception. We do not hate gay people.
Yes. Now there are going to be people in your church that are going to be very. I wouldn't say they hate them, but they're very
Reticent.
Yeah, they're very reticent. They feel uncomfortable, like in a weird way, but like they're people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like they're like you're gonna run into them. I'm gonna go to Walmart and I'm gonna run into one or two of them. Heck, there's a lot of people from the school I went to who graduated, who for whatever reason, I don't talk to these people much, but I see them on Facebook and they're with another woman and they're married and like it's very weird, but they're still people. Like if I run into them in public, I'm gonna say hi. I'm gonna talk to them, see what they're up to. But like
Yeah.
it's one thing where like a couple years ago I saw what musician was it? She was like justifying going to pride parades.
I don't remember, but I think I know. I
Um,
remember you
can't- I
talking
can't-
about kind of.
Yeah, who was it? It was some big Christian musician. I can't think of who it was now. Off the top of my head, but like, there's a difference between talking to them and not being friends with them. But there's another difference where you can tell some Christians I'm seeing recently where they're totally fine with all of that. Like I saw some lady on TikTok, she was posting like I'm okay with they them LGBTQ. Like it wasn't like I'm gonna talk to them, I'm gonna minister to them. It was more of I'm totally justified like them being
Right.
in my inner circle. Like
Yeah.
that, like you can love the sinner but hate the sin. Like you can
Hmm.
love the person.
Yeah, you're straight. It's the you can love somebody without condoning what their actions.
Yes,
Uh,
and you can let them know that
yeah,
in a good way, in like a friendly way, or if you need to, a little more stern way. But like in the day, they're still people, and if you treat them like
yeah,
they're not people,
yeah,
like a lot of these people, some of these people, not all of them, are just they're acting out because they want to get noticed. Not all of
yeah.
them. There's some that totally believe it, but like
Exactly.
yeah, there are some of those people like there's a lady I worked with. She was my manager. She was gay. I knew it. She's married now to some chick, but she got invited to my brother and sister's wedding. She was in the wedding, and some people were like, "Oh, why is she in the wedding? This is in a church." Blah blah. Like they're very like I could tell they were uncomfortable with it, but like there were like for my brother and my sister-in-law, they're like, "No, she's like a friend of ours. We worked with her," and like you could tell like she was interested in what we believed in and how we did stuff because she'd always ask questions. So in their eyes, are like, this is a way for us to show them how church works through a marriage, like through a wedding. Because I don't think regularly they would visit a church, like in a regular basis or like any other capacity. If like I just invited them, because in the past I'd brought it up. But like some people are against that. Like, how dare we invite any of these people to church? Like, that's not where they belong,
Yeah.
and it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, you get that's one of the like the misconceptions about the Baptists are that everybody's judgmental.
Oh yeah, there's some, but
There are some. Oh yeah, there are always some.
in any church, but the Baptist is where the main one where you hear that.
That's the thing. You hear the thing. Oh no, that's like the head pastor. Like when I was still a kid, they took Baptist out of the name
Really?
because not the because if they didn't want to have anything that would um, keep people away from the church.
Right.
It was a hey, this is a church, not, and that's the important part. Yes, we could follow the Baptist tenets, but it's the more important part is we're part of the church.
Right. I think it's a one thing that I think the other church has where they're like, we really need to be. Oh, you're Pentecostal, so you need to fit in like these certain parameters. What
Hmm.
a Pentecostal Baptist is, versus where you're like, here's what the word says. You know,
Hmm.
some of it might not fit in that border,
Yeah,
and I think that's
and
yeah,
there's different doctrinal things that we disagree on, and
yes,
but that doesn't mean that we're not still all part of the church.
yes. I again going to Baptist high school, I'd always hear, "Oh, you guys got to wear uniforms." Like we don't want our kids wear uniforms. That's another misconception. The people you don't need to come in a suit and tie to church. Now,
Yeah.
if you want to look decent, that's fine. My brother wears suit and tie to church. I know people that wear suit and tie to church. But on Wednesday nights, I go in. My pastors could be wearing like a polo and jeans or jeans and a t-shirt. But he decides he wants to look a little more proper. But some people are coming after work, or you're gonna come in Sunday
Yeah.
and you're gonna go work afterwards. I would wear my work stuff to church, and I'd have a shirt over it. But like, I'm not gonna come into my pajamas. But also, like, I don't feel like putting a three-piece suit on when I go to church in the morning. Like,
What? How dare
I
you?
know, how dare I?
How
But like,
dare you?
yeah, I know. But like, some people get so bent out of shape about it. Like, oh, how dare you not wear a suit and tie, or like at least a decent shirt, or how dare you have holes in your pants? Like, it's church.
Yeah.
Jesus says, "Come as you are." Now,
Hmm.
again, don't come in your pajamas. I think there's a line, like, or don't be wearing. I hear this a lot from my mom. She's like, "Why are some of these women at our church wearing booty shorts?" I'm like, listen, some of these people haven't been in church; they're new, or they have been in church a while, and they should at least know, hey, not everyone needs to, those are a little too tight. You might want to wear a different pair of pants. But yeah, that's a common misconception in the church and outside of church how people view some people. Some are very uptight and some are very laid back, and it just depends on which church you go to.
Hmm.
Which I always hear. Oh, that's the funny one. I always hear the misconception where it makes me laugh. I'm like, we're gonna fight about this. There's like three other things that we could have discussions on, but we're gonna fight on such the shirt they're wearing. Yeah,
Because that's just of the devil.
I know. It's funny. Or how dare we get so tied up on wearing or not wearing, but like having the pews and like having hymnals. Like my pastor was talking about this on Wednesday. Like people left our church over that, and my grandma was with us. So all I got to hear when my pastor was saying this, he's like, "Oh, how dare you not have the hymnals?" I'm like, some people don't like reading hymnals. They'd rather. I mean, it's on the screen. The lyrics are on the screen.
We haven't had hymnals in a while at the church. I mean, I still have one of the old green hymnals, but that we
Nice.
had, but they haven't used them in the church just because
Yeah,
there's this thing called technology.
I know. We got a projector or a big
Yeah.
TV. We can just pop it up there. We can make it readable for some people. Some people can't read some of the small
Hmm.
print in those hymnals.
Yeah.
That's what I always heard. Like the pews. I'm like, those pews are like stiffer than a rock. You want us to sit there for what, an hour and a half, 45 minutes, depending how long your sermon is, and you want us to sit there and our butts fall asleep because those pews are so hard. Like my pastor justified as because he likes to have set of different setups for different events like weddings and everything, and occasionally he'll switch it up. Like recently he closed it in, there wasn't like a main walkway down the middle, so he split it up, and people got like so bent out of shape because, oh no, my seat's gone. You know,
What? You don't put plaques on yours?
Yeah, how dare we not put plaques on stuff, or reserved signs, the front seat's just reserved for the pastor's family.
Or the
That's the
highest
other,
tithe payers.
the what?
Yeah.
The highest tithe payers.
Oh, yeah.
No, we have reserves. We do have reserve sign at my church. That's for the security people so they can have their
Hey.
spots
There you
guaranteed.
go. We have that too. It's kind of more of an understood thing, even that the security team, they send that
Yeah.
front spot by the door, unless you're out in you're out in the lobby, or the front like that front row in the back right by that door is usually meant for if you're a mother and need to get out quickly out of the other doors, or you're handicapped and you have more ease. You don't have to move a bunch of stuff for your wheelchair or your walker or whatever. It's more of an understood thing. There's not, lady such and such has been there 80 years, has a plaque, this one seat where it's perfectly cool all year round for her. Is there any misconceptions you guys hear in church that's not outside of church, like that you hear that I know we've touched a couple of them, or like people in your church are really stringent on this one thing in your church?
That are a misconception.
I guess that could be the one I always hear, they complain that we don't do Wednesday services anymore. That's one I hear. Or no, we do Wednesday. I'm sorry, not Wednesday services, but we don't do night. Yeah, we don't do Sunday night services. That's one I hear a lot.
Some people don't like that a lot of churches don't have Sunday school anymore.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Really? Like morning Sunday school, or like Sunday school during the actual service?
Some people, well, they used to have Sunday school, and then they would have morning service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so some people don't like the fact that they don't have Sunday school anymore. Or morning service on Sunday morning.
Why would they not have? I'm just curious why they would take that out.
Well, some people just go straight into worship. Like the church I go to, we have, we go straight into worship, but our services, we don't go straight into worship, but we have go straight into service. But our services can run like 2 or 3 hours by itself.
Yeah.
Without adding anything onto it. We have what's known as a huddle, like at the beginning, where like people that are volunteering, or myself, I'm part of the creative team a lot of time, like on the media ministry, and so we'll have a huddle a few minutes before service. But it's not like the traditional way, back in the day, you would have like a 30-minute lesson or wherever else, like a Sunday school lesson, and then go into your main worship service. That's what I was raised with when I was younger. I had Sunday school, and then we'd have the main worship session.
Yeah.
So it's a little different there.
Yeah, that's because I'm not trying to take anything away from the corporate worship, because that's the important part, of course, of the thing. But in the Sunday school is where you have your connections with people, and you could see like this, you grow together. It's like a little church within the big church.
Right. We still have a version of that, except it's not really on Sunday. Well, some on Sunday, but they're basically called life groups. Okay, and that's a popular model, and that's like more the smaller connection type groups. Like me and my wife, we led a life group last semester, and so it's kind of like that. That's kind of that smaller connection as your church gets bigger, like you're talking about. That's the model we do with our church. So.
Okay. I was like, the whole thing with Sunday school is the point was to help grow together, and not just because there's only so much you can get from the pulpit.
Right.
Yeah.
And you have people with the life group or the connect group or connection, whatever they call it nowadays. It's you have people holding you accountable with stuff and growing together.
Yeah.
Not just listening to whatever the pastor happens to say and be like, oh, okay, well, what if the pastor messed up? Somebody's got to be reading the studying to making sure you're not going off.
Yeah, my church does Sunday school, and then we did it on Wednesdays. We had our young adult group on Wednesdays, like a separate group. We moved it to Sundays because I guess everyone had to work on Wednesdays, so it just made it easier. We were already all there Sundays. It just made it easier for stuff. And other groups, that's a misconception I hear a lot. Again, being a ministry, so I'm always around some of this stuff. There should be core ministries for certain groups. Like there needs to be the kids ministry, because I'm sorry, these kids aren't going to understand half what the pastor's saying, and they're already full of energy. Like last Sunday we had our family group, which we just don't have kids church. Everyone's in one area, so that way the volunteers could because we rotate out, but like the volunteers all could be in service together. The kids all can be service. They can see how everything else works. They can be with their parents, and like that also make it comfortable for like other people to invite people, like other family, especially around the holidays. That's kind of what it was designed for like around that time, for people to all be there, be more comfortable. It was more designed that way. Or like my grandma was bringing it up because she just moved here, so she's been asking questions about our church. Like, should there be like an older group ministry for like the older people in your church? Because they're, of course,
Right.
they're gonna remember the church from like 20, 30 years ago, like when there was wood on the walls and the carpet was ugly red, or like just like our church where it went from ugly red to weird green carpet. So like they remember like when there's like the sliding wood panels on the back wall for whatever reason that like divided part of the seating. It's beneficial for those people. Like young adults, people are going to go through one thing. So we have our group. We talk about a lot of life stuff. You're going to have your kids group. You're going to have your married group. Like that's, again, it comes into the time and the people willing to do it. To like it, that's a misconception. Like, oh, we need to have all these things. Okay, but you have to have the people to do it that are like that felt led to do the ministry. Take the time to do it. One misconception, I hear this from my dad all the time. Not everyone should be listening to like the Facebook live stream at your church. You should actually be in church, going instead of just oh, I got on Facebook. I'm at church.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No,
Oh yeah.
there's a difference. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is a big
Oh.
difference.
Do you have a Fruit Ninja out as well? Are you doing other stuff while you're
You
trying to
can do
listen?
that while you're in church too.
Okay, that's that
I mean,
is true.
technically, he's right. He is right.
That is true. I know. I've looked at people. I'm like, what are they doing? Oh, they're on Facebook. What are they looking at? Like,
I mean, yeah, that's yeah. Don't, I mean, because I know plenty of people that are on their phones the entire service.
oh yeah. Now, some people are writing notes, but some people are not always just writing notes.
Yeah.
They're always got something else open as well. I had one person in my church who had like DraftKings up. I'm like, what are you? I'm like,
Oh, gosh. Wow. Wow.
I was like, I'm
Okay,
not gonna.
I know I said Baptists are judgmental, but at this point, no,
And
I
then-
can't. I can't.
and then the pastor's like, "I'll let you keep it open as long as you tithe on the winnings." You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. There you
That's what
go.
I'm saying.
I'm not trying to judge people at my church, but some people justify stuff like that. I've had people give me like lottery tickets before, not at church, but like I was like, oh wait,
You had to clarify that.
I was like, yeah.
I think not church. Not we're not that.
Yeah,
we're not that weird.
You're
We
not
don't
that
go
weird.
that far with it.
No. Yeah, that's how like so my pastor likes like, oh, everyone that's watching on Facebook, leave a thumbs up. I can hear my dad groan every time my pastor says that. My dad just doesn't like that. He's like, just go to church. Like, I think that became really ubiquitous when COVID hit because
Yeah.
everyone was doing the live stream stuff. For some people it worked. Like, part of me I don't mind the live stream stuff because there are people that can't get to church
Mhm.
who still want to
Very
be part
true.
of the church, but they, for whatever reason, they have an illness where they can't always get out. They're older. They're stuck. They're at their house. We had a couple that was at our church for a while. They're just older and they just couldn't get out. Like, people tried picking them up and they couldn't get in the vehicles. Like, they were
Jeez.
the whatever medical condition they had. Like, it was, they're older and they had some like underlying issues as well. But it was very sad. And like we had like a rotation of people that go there and visit and make them still feel, because they enjoyed being at church, but they
Yeah.
couldn't do that. Like, they couldn't be there.
Yeah, yeah. You always have people that
Mhm.
lock in, shut in.
Yeah.
They can't physically be there. So it allows the ministry to allows the church to be able to minister to them.
But it's 2 or 3
Do they?
people. It's
Yeah,
Yeah.
in a smaller church, yes. But
Yes.
you have a
yes.
bigger church, you can have bigger numbers. But
But-
I mean, too many people just use the excuse to be lazy
Yes.
and forsake
There's
the
a
fellowship.
yes. There's a old radio ad I used to hear back radio was more prominent. Where it was like explaining someone backsliding, but it's like, oh, I'll skip the Sunday. I'll just listen to it I'll listen to a radio program. Or it's like, oh, I'll miss the Sunday. I can watch it on Facebook now. Like, not saying this is always going to happen, but like it gives that room
for that.
where you're
Yeah.
gonna justify like, oh, I could stay home this day. Oh, this other thing came up. Like that depends on your own walk, like how everything works. Like recently they canceled one Sunday and there wasn't a service, but I'm like, you have the Facebook live stream. You couldn't just like have like a small sermon. I get like with weather and sometimes that's not always available. Especially for whatever reason, the internet, like that, the cold and the storm here, like knocked out a lot of people's internet. So that's probably why he didn't do it. But that's something that's more modern misconception because what people justify in church because of the readily available technology. You know, so you're going to have like, I think there was like a steady decline in numbers. Like sometimes there are like the numbers have evened out mostly, but now more people are justifying, oh, I can stay home.
Right.
Or they're like, oh, I can watch this other ministry instead of having your set church where you, again, that fellowship. Like the Bible wouldn't bring up the disciples gathering together in that room for a reason. Like there was a reason that was put in there. Was to show, no, together the church is strong. It's a body. It's not one person.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it mentions the body for a specific reason.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Is there any other church misconceptions that you guys hear that
Is this still misconceptions? Or does this become pet peeves?
or pet peeves? It's both. It's both.
I think it's both.
I mean,
You know what
you
know what I don't like about my church? The curbs not being filled in and falling apart. No, they just got fixed. The city refused to fix the curbs around my church, so we had to do them ourselves. Thankfully, there's people at my church that do concrete, and all that stuff. So we had to fix them. We had a lady at our church. Sadly, she just passed away, but she would always complain it. So right before she died, they got fixed. So like it's funny and unfortunate. My pastor brought it up during her funeral because she'd always talk about insecurity and like, you guys need to fix the curbs. I'm like, yeah. Funny thing about this same lady would correct my pastor after church on his sermons. Like she took notes of what he said. And like anything that was wrong that he said, like she had notebooks, like stacks of notebooks of stuff that he said wrong.
Wow. Well, you gotta love people like that, don't you?
And she is like, I didn't expect it. She's like one of the kindest people. She did our kids ministry, like the young boys ministry. So I knew her for years. But when I heard that, I was like, yeah, that tracks.
So supportive. So supportive.
She was.
There's just supportive, but it's also. I mean, it depends on how she presented it.
She wasn't. I don't think she was trying to be nitpicky. I think she was just trying.
She's trying to making sure keep people accountable.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. But it was just funny. It's like he hadn't heard about this for years until she brought him like a stack. I'm like, bro. I was like, it's the funniest thing to hear. Especially when you're at a funeral. Sometimes funerals are very sour and like down in the dumps, and then this one everyone was just laughing. It was like I don't know if I'm at a funeral or like somewhere else. That's another thing. Like I think people like to play up church funerals being very sad and like dour when they aren't, like, depending on
it should be a celebration.
It should be a celebration. That's
Could
kind of
be.
what this one was. It was very fun and a very crowded room at this old funeral home that's been there for years. I'm like, no one's fitting in here. There's way too many people in this one room, but that's how many people love this lady. It was
always
very,
nice.
Yeah, it was a very interesting funeral home. They need better parking because I had to go park in my old elementary school, which was really weird. That was the weirdest thing to do. It's like, oh, I got to park here. I don't.
For a funeral.
Yeah, for a funeral. Yeah, that was odd. What's also this is one thing I always hear. Be like, someone's like, oh, you can't have a school in a church, only because the school I went to is under church. I would hear that. I'm like, I don't see where biblically that's wrong, but okay.
It's not wrong. People just don't want to deal with the whole. They don't want to. They feel that if they let the government in, they'll get a foothold and keep.
Well, good thing my school wasn't accredited, so
That
That explains
kinda
so
funny.
much.
You think
It
the school
Explains
isn't
so
cool.
much.
It only affected my brother because he had to go retake classes when he went to a public high school. He's like, this is so stupid. Though another classmate of his that also went to that same school didn't have that problem. So I don't know what happened there. What's another one? I think we've kind of touched them all. The misconception or like making
got a
poking
nice
fun.
broad base there.
Yeah.
Just to show we're not all perfect. There's stuff that we can make fun of in church. You know, we're not all here being like 100% like, yes, we believe in we should have pews. You know, no, I don't know who anything. I don't know anyone that thought they were comfortable. And
Yes or no?
People at my church were like, "Tell my pastor, we'll leave if you get rid of the pews." And this was already a very small church, like 20 years ago. So my pastor just padded them to fix it. He's like, well, "I don't really care. I'll just pad these, whatever, to have this church still stay open," which is kind of funny. Is there anything else we want to touch on?
Yeah. We might actually have a short episode.
I think so.
Shorter, at least.
Yeah. Short-ish. You know. Yeah, this is, again, if you enjoy church stuff like this, I know some people that would be like, why is this on my feed? We had a comment on another one like that, or a clip where like, why is this on my feed? Why I don't want to hear this church stuff. You know, maybe it's there for a reason. Maybe, you know, just came across it. What else are you looking at? Because that's how the algorithm works.
Yeah. It's your fault. No, okay.
So yeah, good going. But you know, some people who's around now, for like, you know, I'm going to go to church on Christmas for whatever reason. People like, that's another thing I see a lot. We're like, I'm going to go to church on Christmas. Oh, why don't you go on the rest of the year? Why just Christmas? Like, I've never understood that.
What, the CEO Christians?
Yeah, I've never understood. Hey, I'm just gonna go on Christmas and every holiday like that. Never
Christmas and Easter only.
Yeah. Why you could just go any other time? I guess to make you look better. I guess I don't know.
Because that's when it's the times it's the holy days.
Yeah. I
gotta be holy. You gotta make it holy.
Yeah, I gotta even it out for the rest of the year. You know, anything else I've done. But, you know, that's just how stuff works. So maybe if you found this, you're like, you're going to give church another shot. I hope there's some family member. You go with the family member or you go by yourself. There will be people there that'll welcome you. I can't promise they won't they won't scare you away. Because there's some people that go to church that, not saying that they're kind of freaky, but like there are some people that you might get, you know, the big burly security guy. You might be the first that you see. We had someone at our church that were like, we were kind of scared of one of your guys, and he looks like a football linebacker, and like people were, but he's like one of the chillest dudes. He's on our worship team. One of the chillest guys I know. But
my question is, why is he not a security guard? Because I mean, that kind of makes sense.
Because he's on our worship team, and I guess he didn't get voluntold.
So you're saying
or
that
asked
worshipers can't be security guards? What you're saying?
That's not true. That's not true. I'm in the kids ministry and I'm also on the security team. Which, you know, when I say I'm on the security team, people just look at me and they go, the first thing they ask me is, do you have a gun? I was like, no. I'm like, how do I answer this? Like,
do you like he has a gun? No.
Do you trust me with a gun? Like,
no.
I know.
Nobody's saying that. No.
Yeah. My mom, when she heard that I was on the security team, she's like, why? Like, I kind of got asked, and you kind of want to do it, you know, try and help out. Yeah. You know, everyone's got their, you know, stuff they want to do in church. That's another one final misconception. You don't always have to do stuff in your own church. You can do stuff at other churches or around your community, because it all goes back to your being called, not just volunteering for stuff at random. You know, if you're like, I'm going to do kids ministry, like churches are going to ask you, like, hey, you don't fit in this. Pray about it, because not everyone needs to be in certain ministries or like a ministry at all. That's something that you should think, like, pray about. Be like, hey, what can I do to help out my church body? There's other ways you do it, not just ministry. And I think that's another misconception that people like to pull, whether it's like for a good reason or not. I think they're different motives. But if you enjoy content like this, follow us at Pizza Party Pod on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I fixed the TikTok. I was talking about to Doc afterwards because I put everything up. Everything was ready to go, and then I kept not seeing stuff. It was up, but I had it on private, so I was the only one that was seeing it. So I had to go back and fix it all because TikTok does not make it easy trying to unprivate stuff.
You just gotta repost it. Not that
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, I had to do all of that. That's what I was doing before. I'm going to go finish it after this. So I'm working on what did I do? I tried the new SpongeBob menu item at Burger King, which is again the hardest thing to get because you can't order on the app.
I would say probably right now, at least to me, the Grinch meal is probably the hardest.
The McDonald's one, really?
Yeah, that's my opinion.
Let's see.
I just went into the app and I just picked it up. I went to go pick it up and then went to the.
Well, granted, I waited probably too long, so there's that.
Yeah, there's that.
That doesn't help.
Well, I went to go order it and then realized it was at the wrong McDonald's, so I had to go to the other side of town because the McDonald's app does not make it easy for trying to put addresses in because I get mixed up because the two McDonald's in my area are on different highways and they have very similar numbers. So I just go, oh yeah, it's that one.
Wait, you can't order the Krabby Whopper or
on my app
bacon tots on the app. I got them both right here.
What the heck? On mine, it didn't show up. All it showed up was the junior kids meal. I didn't show up the actual bikini bottom meal.
I don't see it. I don't see it's the meal. Yeah, the Krabby Whopper meal.
What the heck? It's not on mine. That is stupid.
Also, the end of this episode, Nathan's fast food takes.
Yeah. Or no, it's just Nathan can't figure out simple technology. In like apps.
Well, we've known that for a long time.
Yeah, that's fair. I get everything from Goodwill.
Well, that's nothing new.
Yeah, I get everything from Goodwill. Everything's 20 years behind. It's like Canada. The 80s just hit. As that joke goes, Doc, what are you working on?
Just the same old. With going through the Bible, First Samuel right now, and then
you didn't do Luke or anything. You didn't make it festive. You didn't go through the.
No, I didn't do anything Advent this year.
No. Next year.
I've done the Christmas stuff before.
Nice.
So you can go. I can probably repost the old ones. Or
there you go.
Like that. Go back to the memories and pull the Advent stuff out.
Yeah, there you go. Or you do like one blanket like Advent post for Christmas. You do it like the 25th. Be like done. I can wait till next year. There you go. That's how you do it. What's the book? Like again, what was the book you're doing? I thought you were doing another book. You had Second Sam. I thought you were.
I'm doing First Samuel, and then going through the prayer thing of the Fount of Heaven.
Fount of Heaven
prayers.
Yeah.
Prayers of the early church.
Nice. Kind of looks like those old hymnals, like the green ones.
It really does. It really is. But this is the whole series of books here. It's got prayers from the early church, prayers from the Reformation, prayers from the Puritans, and then there's one more that comes out next year. It's prayers from the revivals.
Nice. Heck to the yeah.
So slowly work through all of those, and TikTok. By the time TikTok finally gets really banned, I'll be done with them.
There you
go. By
go.
the time it really gets really banned,
and then it'll get prolonged for another 2 months, and then it's just this endless cycle.
That's funny.
TikTok's weird. Crad, are you working on anything, or are you
not? Well, I'm still working on getting ready to be in a Christmas play for 2 performances next weekend. So that's pretty exciting. So that's kind of been taking a lot of the forefront of things at the moment.
Yeah. Well, you've also had outside of this life stuff going on.
Yeah,
too. But
I had real life stuff going on for sure.
I didn't know if you had anything else going on for holiday stuff with your either ministry or your everything. Just kind of
not currently.
Yeah.
Not currently.
It happens. Life happens.
Oh
yeah. Yeah. I feel like you've just had a streak.
Oh yeah, the last few months have been kind of crazy.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
Sure. But it's getting better. It's getting better.
Yeah, it's almost a new year.
Yeah,
almost.
We'll make it. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah. So
the Lord's got this.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go.
We don't
remember to rely on Him.
Yes.
Exactly.
Also, remember to go check out Strange. He'd be here, but I guess he's working. I think he's just doing the Kingdom Streamer stuff. He's kind of. Again, he's had life stuff, so all of his Strange 2 lyrics and Strange 2 plays and all all that jazz kind of on hold until he gets it all figured out and settled.
Yeah.
I feel that I've had to help my grandparents move, and that's just been. I can't walk in my grandparents' basement. I don't know what they wanted that to be the family room. I can't stand up straight. I have to stand like I feel like I'm a table, like I'm like this, walking around downstairs. It's not comfortable, and there's people in my family either 6'2" or 6'4". I don't know how they expect that to be the family room if we can't stand up anywhere. I don't know. Weird. That's yeah. Also, why I feel stuff's been delayed on my stuff, or stuff's been slightly late, a couple hours late, only because I've been helping people move, and then they said we done at a certain time, and then 2 hours later pass, and yeah, it's been amazing. That's what I did last Sunday, was just move stuff, and I was not enjoying it because it was cold and raining, and the heat wasn't on because I guess it wasn't connected. I don't know what was going on, but
Well, you don't even have to worry about the heat being on. Jesus back in
yeah, I know.
They didn't have a heat in the manger.
Yeah, I know. Well, also it's the Middle East. I'm sure they didn't have to worry about a lot of things. Guys, have a good rest of your night, day, whatever.
Bless his heart.
Yeah, bless my heart.
Bless his little heart.
There's 3 things we don't talk about: pizza politics and phony pastors.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.